It's terrible. I mean, it's so sad, you know, but I mean, isn't it? I mean, it's late onset of, well, robot dementia. Not at all pretty.
Yeah. I don't know what you're smoking in that pipe, man.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
2017 was the worst year for movies. And there is an explanation as to why 2017 was so bad. And it is the reason why I'm so far from the camera. So keep watching and you'll find out. Never before have I seen such a list of more sorry-looking suckers. Now I could break this list down one by one and analyze it as to why they're so bad, but instead I'm going to look at why the year itself was so bad. Now it's openly recognized that the year of 1999 was one of the best, if not best year for films. But no one ever talks about the worst year for films. This is that year. But why? Well, I think the warning signs were there in 2016, don't you? And in the years leading up to 2016, there were signs that the quality of films were slipping. In 2010, we had The Last Airbender, an abomination of a film that features cultural appropriation, poor special effects, woeful screenwriting.
That child is being arrested.
For what?
He was bending tiny stones at us from behind a tree. It really hurt.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
And the director down on his luck.
No, you know, the critics are, I don't know what's going on with me and the critics of the United States, I gotta tell you.
2011, we had Jack and Jill, where Adam Sandler thought it would be good to ruin the legacy of one of the best actors of all time.
Wow!
Al Pacino!
It's not Al anymore. It's Dunk.
Dunkachino?
Don't mind if I do.
What's my name?
Dunkachino!
It's a whole new game.
Dunkachino!
You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend.
2012, we had a year so incredibly dull that there were a bunch of nothing films that had zero impact on the world of movie making and were just absolutely dull. Even the year's worst offender, This Means War, is just... Oh, God, it's so boring. 2013, movie 43. Now, if you know nothing about this film, check it out. It's one of the worst movies ever made in film history.
Oh, you've, got something on your...
Oh, something on my neck? Leave it to me to embarrass myself on a first date. Oh.
Here,
In fact, they should have just stopped making films at this point. It's the worst. Wow. 2014, we had another dull year. And this line...
How old are you?
20.
She's a 17-year-old girl. So we can work this two ways. One, I punch you right in the mouth and you call the police on me.
Dad.
Or two, I just call the cops on you because this is illegal. She's a minor.
We're protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship. Statute 2705-3.
What? Texas statute? That a real law?
Yep.
I mean, what is this conversation? Why is it in a Transformers film? Give me robots doing this.
We're a team now, and there's 4 of us, so we should come up with a name for it.
2015, Fan 4 Stick 4.
Gotta say, it's fantastic.
Say that again?
It's fantastic.
Yes, it is. Guys, I got it.
Just awful. Ready? Say fantastic. Wait, say that again. Fantastic. Great name. That's going to be our name. Fantastic. Are you sure that's awful lazy, no? Nah, it'll be fine.
Nah, it'll be fine.
Kill Martha.
What does that mean?
And then in 2016, we had a year that almost competes with 2017 as the worst year ever, with such hits as...
Stop! Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name!
Well, that's just lazy writing.
And of course, the worst offenders of them all were DC movies. 2 DC movies to be specific.
This is Katana. She's got my back. She can cut all you in half with one sword stroke, just like mowing the lawn. I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
Yes, a professional screenwriter wrote those lines, not ChatGPT. And those 2 movies are the problem. You see, after the success of the MCU, and with the MCU dominating the cinemas and the box office, every single studio wanted to compete and have their own universes. Every studio was betting big on a franchise. Let's look at these films again. Transformers, Fantastic Four, The Last Airbender, Allegiance, Divergence, whatever, Suicide Squad, all of them were part of an attempted start of franchises. You know, it's the thing where Hollywood can just sit back and churn out movies like a sock factory. Or like a chocolate factory. Because this... yeah, you get it.
Quiet up and listen down. Nope, scratch that, reverse it.
Now, let's look at 2017. Reboot, remake, franchise starter, sequel, prequel, just everything. All the boxes are ticked. And across the board, all of them failed or bombed or... yeah. I think we can safely pinpoint this year as being the year that the peak of attempted franchise movies, and then from henceforth the fall of Hollywood's attempts to create franchise starters movies. That was a hell of a long sentence. I should have probably wrote that better, really. But basically what I'm trying to say is we can pinpoint that year as the peak where Hollywood thought we probably should stop trying to make these franchise movies. Well, DC didn't get that memo. With this film being especially bad, I mean, who remembers this?
No.
Studios were in such a rush to put out a new film, to start franchises, that they became sloppy, announcing franchises before they even got the first film off the ground. How's that Dark Universe franchise looking, guys? Is it still happening, or... Yo, Johnny! John! How's that Dark Universe Invisible Man film looking, bro?
I'm so pathetic when it comes to knowing what movies I've done. I'm sorry. I just... I don't watch them. I feel better not watching them. What was the question again?
Okay, be quiet now.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Johnny, be quiet. But Marcus, I hear you say, how can you say this is the worst year for movies ever? What about the other years before 2017? And why are you so far from the camera? What's wrong with you? Well, you see, from a distance, you get a wider picture of the scene or a situation. And when you narrow things down, you get this. I want to take you back 10 years to 2007. As you can see, there's some real stinkers here. A couple of sequels, a couple of franchise starters, but nothing on the scale of 2017, where that list is almost tripled. Moreover, the budgets for these films were relatively low in comparison. For a direct comparison, the budget of Rush Hour 3 was $140 million, roughly. The budget for Transformers The Last Night was $260 million. Even adjusting for inflation, there's a huge difference. Now, I could go back 10 years until we reach the year 1900, attempting to prove my point, but I shan't. There is really no need. If 2017 only had Justice League, The Mummy, and The Emoji Movie, and Ghost in the Shell as its only bad movies, it would still be the worst year for movies of all time. Especially Ghost in the Shell, which is the only film in which I left the cinema and I immediately told myself, I'm never going to the cinema again. A soulless, worthless, culturally appropriated, pointless jumble of a film which was so keen not to be racist that it came up with a convoluted ending instead of just casting an Asian actress and a cast of Asians. Oh, don't you worry, Ghost in the Shell. I got a special video lined up for you. So where does this leave us? Well, as per the title of my videos, cinema is dying, and 2017 might just have been the first symptom as to why. But honestly, it started before 2017. Where exactly? Well, that's what this channel is here for. To appreciate great art, dig to the bottom of the rot, and celebrate wonderful actors and artists. So what do you think? Do you think 2017 was the worst year for movies? If you do, put it in the comments. In the meantime, please hit the sub button, watch these videos. Until we speak again, big love.